Hey everybody, welcome back to theclinicaltrialsguru.com. Again, it's theclinicaltrialsguru.com. So I've been getting questions from you guys. Thank you. Keep them coming. Dan at theclinicaltrialsguru.com. You can call or text me 949-415-6256. That's 949-415-6256 for all your research needs / questions. I do teleconferences with people who are really serious about this industry and about their futures in this industry, whatever that might be, whether you want to open a site, whether you want to grow your site, whether you want to launch an SMO, a CRO, biotech, right? I can help you guys with that through either partnering with you or consulting for you. And everything else in between. So I'm really doing it all these days, but I have a whole team behind me. It's not just me. I'm the only one you see on camera, but I have a whole team of people behind me helping me out, as well as helping me manage all my sites that I have. So today's question comes from someone who wants to open a research clinic, and they're a doctor, they have a lot of patients in their private practice, they have a busy private practice, and they're interested in research because they were added on as a sub-investigator for a trial, and they just got really interested in research. They started talking to the PI about it. The PI let them know that it was really lucrative, which it can be if it's run right and managed the right way. So this doctor, wants to start his own clinic. And he's asking me what the bare minimum necessities are, the bare minimum requirements are, as well as the bare minimum time commitments involved for a PI and just to have a regular basic clinic. So when I talk about having a regular basic clinic, I'm talking about having enough space and enough staff and the capabilities to conduct, in your first year, anywhere from 5 to 10 clinical trials, right? You can always grow after that. You can always open up another clinic or maybe expand your existing clinic if space permits or if you have the space. Or you can always move. I know a lot of clinics that started off really small and then they moved into bigger facilities. Or I've seen sites that started off small and then because they got more demand, more studies coming in and they were growing, but they couldn't physically move from their clinic, they just open another clinic like somewhere else in their city where they would do a certain type of clinical trials. And then they would have 2 sites with 2 different PIs. So there's all kinds of ways to do this. Bare minimum requirements, so I'm probably going to miss some because I'm doing this like off the cuff without preparing for these questions because I think it's less boring that way. You'll need an office, sounds like you already have one, with at least 3 rooms that could be dedicated to just research. So chances are you already have an exam room, and you can share that exam room between your research clinic and your private practice, right? Unless you have a very busy private practice, you may want a second exam room just for clinical research, but you asked for the bare minimum, so the bare minimum is you already have an exam room. You can share that exam room for your research clinic as well. You need 3 other rooms, I would say, but chances are you're already using one of the rooms, and I almost used my middle finger there, that would have been bad. You're already using one of the rooms as the PI, so now you just need 2 rooms. You really need a room for the coordinators and a room for the monitors when they come in. You probably don't want to have the monitors share the room with the study coordinators because then they can go looking at things laying around the desk, and most coordinators' offices they may clean up at the end of the day, but during the day, especially at a busy clinic, it could be messy, and you don't want a CRA seeing all that and seeing other protocols because then they'll assume that other CRAs are seeing their protocol stuff, and a sponsor can take issue with this. So have a separate room for monitors, a separate room for coordinators. You're going to need an IP room, but I didn't include that as a second room because, again, bare minimum, you can probably build or have an IP cabinet that would be double locked and temperature controlled in the study coordinator room, or even better, in your room as the PI, and you'll be the one to dispense the medication. That way you can control it better. In the case of an audit, if the sponsor FDA sees that the IP is in the PI's office, that's actually not bad. I mean, the best thing to do would be to have a separate room dedicated to just IP and have limited access to it. So one of the issues of having the IP, which is the investigational product cabinet, in the coordinator room is, or in your PI room, is if patients are going there, sponsor or FDA will ask in an audit, how are you preventing patients from potentially going into your IP cabinet when you're not in your office or when the coordinator is not in their office. So if you have a separate IP room that has 0 foot traffic going to it, except for people who belong there, and at my sites I'll also put a video camera next to the IP room. But again, you ask for the bare minimum, so you can get away without this for a while, but then you can build these things out as you start generating revenue from your research clinic. You'll need a centrifuge, but you probably already have that. You'll need a refrigerator for IP that needs to be kept refrigerated. What else? You need fax, you need internet. Yeah, we still use fax in this industry. ECG. So usually studies provide ECG machines, but increasingly I've seen that they're requesting the sites to have their own. I mean, that's about it. That's really about it. You need enough. People always underestimate the amount of space that, physical space that just one protocol will take up, as far as all the paperwork, so all the regulatory documents and all the source documents. So you may be underestimating how many cabinets you need just for one protocol, and then you may discover that as you're doing more protocols, your offices are getting more and more cramped, so you may need to dedicate another room for storing more source docs, maybe adding a second coordinator room. But bare minimums, that's what you need to get started. You also need a CLIA waiver if you don't have one already that will allow you to draw blood and process samples. You'll need a lab room. Well, that's the other thing you need. So in the room where you put the centrifuge, you should be processing your labs there, and that's where you'll put the CLIA waiver certificate, or at least a copy of it there. So you'll need like a small room, like a lab room, where you can process the blood samples, ship them out, bring dry ice there. There probably shouldn't be carpet there because you're going to be dealing with dry ice, which you can buy from the grocery store or get delivered to your clinic when you need it. So you don't need to actually have dry ice on site, you just need to have it there when you need it. And that's what I do and still do at all my sites. So maybe having a lab room would be an extra room that you would need that I did not mention early on. That's about it. That's all you need to get started. Just get one study. Usually you'll get more than one at once. You'll get like one study, and then immediately after you'll get like 2 or 3 more. If you know what you're doing as far as business development, and if you don't, give me a call. Alright, I help sites with business development amongst a whole bunch of other things I do. So hopefully this helps. Bare minimum requirements. Time commitment, that could be a whole nother video, but I'm just going to make it really quick. If the PI delegates properly to coordinator, you don't need that much time. You can do like 50%, so 50% in clinic, 50% doing the research stuff, and 50% doing your private practice. You can probably push that to 80-20, 80% your private practice, 20% your research. There will be a lot of overlap, especially if you're in the same office where the research is being conducted. So if a monitor is there and you're there at your private practice, you can see them. So 20% of your time, I think, if you have proper coordinators, and they don't have to be CCRC, Certified Clinical Research Coordinators, but they do need to be GCP trained, NIH trained, IATA certified. I know I'm missing something here. So yeah, time commitment, you're going to need to hire a coordinator unless you want to be doing all the work yourself. So hopefully this helps. Let me know what you think. I got to take this call. Dan from theclinicaltrialsguru.com. Take care.